Hey everybody out there in YouTube land, it's Tuesday and that means it's time for Lancing with Myself, the ongoing YouTube series where I take 5 minutes out of my day to try to pass on all the things I've learned in 20 years of game design, especially for those of us who are low on cash and low on spoons, and boy am I low on spoons this week, but it happens. And when I'm low on spoons, there are a lot of things that take control of my brain, and one of them is imposter syndrome, of course, but I'm actually much more often plagued by a different kind of syndrome, which is qualifier syndrome, qualifier issues, where imposter syndrome is a thing where you've done something, but you go, oh, that doesn't count. I'm doing it, but I can't really be doing it. I feel like an imposter being here. Qualifier syndrome is the opposite. Qualifier is where you feel like you're not allowed to do something because you're not good enough yet. And so you hold yourself back and you don't do the things, you don't contribute the things, you don't put yourself out there. And the good thing about those two things, though, is that they can fight each other, because if you have the qualifier thing, then once you cross the line and start doing the thing, it can cancel out the imposter syndrome. That's a nice factor. But qualifying issues are everywhere, especially for us new people. There's always something that's going to get in the way of whether we are allowed to do art. Even there's so much pressure on art being a frivolous thing, and art should be frivolous. That's part of what makes it wonderful. But the opposite of frivolous, therefore, is important, necessary, needed. So there's this question of, am I allowed to do art? Especially in times like these where there's so much serious, important stuff going on in the world. There's always going to be, though, reasons not to do your art, and you need to always push through those. So that's the message, I guess, for today, is that no one is ever going to give you permission, and everything out there is going to try to take away your permission from you. There are people who are going to say, you know, you need to be this, you must have read these books, you need to play these games, you have to have this kind of maths background or a psychology background or a design background. You're going to look around and you can see that so many great game designers are visual game designers, or they got a stats background. Rainer Knizia is a maths, expert. These people have, immense schedules. They have incredible ability to output things. They have money. They have access. All these things. Now, I'm not saying these things don't help, but you can't allow them to take away your permission to be an artist. There's always going to be craft. There's always going to be things to learn. There's always going to be resources that are going to be useful. Money is important. Access is important. Networking is important. Having skills, learning skills, developing skills. But to be an artist, to express yourself, and that's what game design is, no one is allowed to say when you're allowed to do that and when you're not allowed to do that. You're always allowed, and you're always welcome at the table and say, look, here's my game. Even if the game is, broken and not complete, or, your first work, you're still allowed to put it out there. And you're allowed to tell your story and communicate and express yourself. And, that goes, as I said, there is going to be criticism and there's going to be playtesting. I've said that in previous videos, that, sometimes your game is going to suck and you will have to go through the process of learning. But never let that take away the permission to try and the permission to say, I'm going to be an artist, I'm going to be a creator. There are so many ways that you can take that away from yourself. And, whether you're going to say, I'm too broke, I'm too poor, I'm too out of touch, I'm not experienced enough, I'm not well read enough, I don't have the studies in the background. There used to be courses, of course. I feel like, oh God, I never studied this at school. I don't understand half the things people are talking about now. I feel like I'm always so far behind. I spent too long doing RPGs, my skill set is more about social and party and parlor games. I don't know how to do a big strategy game. I don't have enough experience. I don't play enough broad kinds of games. All these things. Every time someone says, here's a good idea to get better, it can feel like, well, I haven't, so I've failed. And I don't have permission. I don't have the skills. I can't do this because I haven't got what someone's told me I need. A lot of people have said it to me, like, what do I need? Do I need to have this? Do I need to have that? I want you to know that you're enough. Everything you need is inside you. It's like they say in Bug's Life. Pretend this is a seed. Everything you need is already inside you, and you have permission to be everything you are and to put it out there and make your games and tell your story. Don't let anyone take that away from you. You have permission to be here and to tell your story and make your game. That's all. See you next time. Till then, play games, pat dogs, be good, have fun.